Good morning. It's Friday. I'm Mr. Seagull, Bobby Seagull. Really excited to be here. Just give me a little holler, a little type if you can hear me. Because sometimes on a Friday or even a Wednesday, my computer says, Mr. Seagull, I've had a long week. Let me have a nap. But let's just see. As long as you can hear me, then we're all good to go. We're all good to go. Someone said they saw me on Bite Size. Yes, I was doing some stuff with Bite Size. I'm really excited for today. So as long as you can hear me, we're excited and ready for maths. So, my name is Bobby Seagull, or Mr. Seagull, you can call me that. Everyone can hear me. Mita says she can hear me. It's brilliant. So I am, you know that by now, I'm your maths teacher. I'm a BBC presenter for the Monkman and Seagull Genius Guide, and I'll show you a new trailer for Monday. It's coming out. And I'm also the author of The Life-Changing Magic of Numbers, a book about how maths and numbers changed my life and how I think numbers can change your life. We've got a happy birthday wish for someone, which I will wish later. I think I'll say now. Happy birthday, Megan. You're 10 years old. And what I love about 10, Megan, is 10 is the number of digits we have on our finger. 10. You know we count in tens, 10, 20, 30. If we had 7 fingers, we might count in 7. 7, and then we start another 7, but we count in tens because we have 10 fingers. So happy birthday, Megan. So, I'm here with Explore Learning, and we're all about being fearless learners, having that positive attitude to maths. And we have Explore at Home, and we are trying to keep education going during these difficult times. And you can always book a free online trial at explorelearning.co.uk. And by now, you guys know that we love social media. So Millie, Gabriel, Alexander, Sean, Shivan, Beatrice. Make sure that if you've got social media, that you let us know how you're enjoying my lessons. I love the lessons. Do you love the lessons? So the hashtag is mathswithbobby. And we've got Explore Tutors on Twitter, Explore Learning _official on Facebook, Instagram rather. And then I'm at Bobby_Seagull. I'm on Twitter, I'm on Instagram, I'm on TikTok. Actually, I'm on Facebook. So if you go to facebook.com, you can hear me, but not very loud. What I'll do is I've got my mic. I'll move my mic a bit closer to me, okay? Move the mic a bit closer to me. Let's have a look. Okay, so I move the mic. So have a look. My mic looks a bit like the Death Star, but it's not. So move it a lot closer. Okay. So send us in your pictures, videos, tweets. And again, I'm facebook.com/Bobby Seagull. And I post a lot of stuff about maths there. Thank you. I'm getting some lovely compliments about my Great British Intelligence Test program. That was fun. It was on a couple of weeks ago. So we're gonna get started. But a few hellos to get the morning going. Bianca's here. Sandeep's here. My TikTok dance. We'll do the TikTok dance is the maths dance. So let's give that a go. Shall we do that? Yeah. Let's give that a go. So remember, people come to me and they'll say, "But Mr. Seagull, he has the brain that I had on Horizon. I haven't got a maths brain. I can't do maths. I can't do maths." Well, Regan, if you're watching, people say this. But you know what we do? Our TikTok dance, as it were, for maths. Yes, I can do maths. Yes, I can do maths. Yes, I can do maths. Let's do that another time. Rewind, okay? So the cross, means they can't do maths. Ethan, Harry, Ava, let's do it. Yes, I can do maths. Yes, I can do maths. Yes, I can do maths. Max, Amaya, Mohammed, we can all do maths. So, today is Key Stage 3, meant for 11 to 14-year-olds, Vitesha. But if you're in Key Stage 2, even Key Stage 1, and you're feeling really confident, you're always welcome to come to these lessons for other key stages. We know the structure by now. It's going to be 30 minutes. I'll get my clock. And at Key Stage 1, people remember my lovely song with the clock. It's tick, tock, around the clock, 15. I love this song. Tick, tock, 30, tick, tock, 45, tick, tock, 60. That's tick, tock, around the clock. So about half an hour of maths work with you. And then a few minutes of thoughts of Mr. Seagull. I love that. Mr. Seagull has some thoughts that help you, not just in maths, but in wider day life. And then finally some Q&A from parents. And then we'll wrap up with things that I'm getting involved with and other projects that Explore are involved with. So I think it's time to get kicked off with the lesson. So who's excited for some maths today? Come on. Shout through the screens. I want to hear you shout. Who's excited for some maths? Come on. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. So let's get the clacker board. Wait. Lights. Camera. Action. It's time for some maths. Here we go. So, I'm very excited. So today's lesson is all about, again, I like singing songs. So ABBA, for parents, again, this song is the best one for money. It's money, money, money. It's so funny. Or Jessie J's, it's not about the money, money, money. But today, we are doing all about this. All about the money. Get your money in. Okay, so let's have a look. So today's session, I think it's really important. Really important. Because maths has lots of great applications. Next week, we're looking at geometry. We looked at measurements. But one of the most important things is about maths and money. Because this impacts people's day-to-day life. So I want you, all of you, to be smart consumers. I've got my umbrella here because that's my wand, magic wand. I want all of you to be smart consumers because consuming, buying things, transacts money. You give money, you get something. So you need to make sure that you understand the numbers behind it. So that's what we're going to be teaching you today. So let's have a look. I'm going to move this out of the way. And we're going to pay a visit to a shop. First of all, we're going to pay a visit. So imagine you go to a shop and you find this amazing looking bell. Imagine this is an antique bell, Eleanor. Antique looking bell. Yeah, you like the look of this bell? Very cool. So imagine you go to a shop and in the shop it says this sign. Was £40. You're like, that's quite expensive. Let me change the chalk. Was £40, yeah? And then they'll say, up to 50% sale. And you're thinking, up to 50% off. And you're thinking, oh, this is a good shop to go to. Up to 50% off. And then it says, now, £25. So imagine an ad. So imagine I'm doing an ad. So you're watching. So imagine this is an ad. This was £40, but we're doing a big sale up to 50% off. You can get this now for £25 if you dial 555-222. Do you think that's a good deal? Bo, do you reckon it's a good deal? What do you think? So I can see a few of you coming through. Mita, Lena. So this is where you've got to be careful. Bo as well. So I can see Bo's coming along. So in this particular question, it says up to 50% off. And if you work out 50%, that's half of 40. We know that's 20. So this bell should actually be £20. And I'll tell you why the ad is being very clever. That's why maths can help you be a powerful consumer. This is the key word. In the shop, it says up to. Up to. So technically, they could say, we weren't tricking you. We said up to 50% off. But we know that actually this is less than 50%. Less than 50%. And we'll come back to percentages later. But maths and money is a way for you to be a savvy consumer. Remember, I'm going to give the wand. I want you to be a savviest consumerist. Who's a Harry Potter fan? So this is it. Savvy means like you're able to think on your feet and wits. And that's about maths management. So I'm going to say savviest consumerist. So if you're all looking through the screen, I'm now granting you powers so that you have confidence to have a good money and math sense. So there we go. Savviest consumerist. Savviest consumerist. All of you will get consumer savvy with maths today. Okay, so let's have a look. So we're going to move on now. We're going to, again, just quickly recap for those that weren't here on Monday's or Wednesday's lesson. So again, I want to just give you a quick recap. So recap is rewind. I'm going to rewind back to Monday and Wednesday. So what I said to people on Monday and Wednesday is initially, there was something called bartering. If you wanted something, for example, you wanted my teddy bear, my lion, and I wanted your calculator, and money didn't exist, we might swap it. We might swap it and we'll do a swap deal, a calculator for a teddy bear. But we know that bartering, I think it was invented by the Mesopotamians in 6000 BC. Again, it didn't last very long. Then people started using coins. And then we said, again, in 700 BC, the Lydians are people who live in modern day Turkey, they started using coins. And then 700 AD, we had people using cash in China. And so we have a combination of coins, cash, but also, if I can find it here, people use debit cards and credit cards as well. So debit cards are money that you have in your bank. Credit cards are when you borrow. So we can see how money has changed from just being bartering to coins, to cash, to card, and now it's often paperless. And you hear that sometimes, paperless transactions. Okay, so this is what we need to understand. Budgeting. We're going to look at a bit of budgeting and how it's important. So if you were here on Wednesday, you were like, Mrs. Seagull, I know this. And I think one of the things about maths and learning is that when you recap things, your brain absorbs it. Because the first time you're like, you know when you meet someone new for the first time, and you'll say, oh, you meet them and you say, hi, my name is Mr. Maths. It's a strange name, Mr. Maths. And the second time you're like, oh, what was your name? And they'll say, oh, I'm Mr. Maths. And after a few times, you'll remember it. So the same thing with revision. So remember, I'll get my dictionary out in a second. But what we said a budget was your income and your expenditure, how much is coming in and how much is going out over a period of time. And I said the cool thing about this, the word budget comes from the Latin bulga. And bulga is a small purse or a little pouch. So you need to make sure that you can spend only what's in your little purse. It's called a budget. And in the UK, there's a man called the Chancellor. He has a lovely briefcase. It's red. Imagine this was red and very small. He has a briefcase that he puts in front of television and says, here's the budget for the UK. All the income, all the expenditure. And we can do that ourselves. So in houses, essentially your parents or your mum and dad or your carers, they are the chancellor of your house. The chancellor, they are the finance minister. So if you're an adult or carer watching now, tell your son, daughter, or the little child you're looking after, I am the chancellor of this house, because they're in charge of budgets. And all the things that come into the house, your income, maybe from your job, maybe from salaries, companies, that's your income. And all the things that you spend money on are your expenditures. So I want to ask you a question now. So the question is, what things do you think a family has to pay for each month? So I'm going to pop this up as a poll, and I hope it works. Let's have a look. So the question is, if it doesn't pop, just type it in. What things would a family have to pay for each month? So think about it. So I'll give you one easy item. They might have to pay for rent or mortgage. That's for the house. So let's get some ideas coming in. So what things do you think a family would have to pay for? Rent. I'll give you one. So type it in for me. So we're going to say, I'm going to put rent there as one example. So type in your ideas of things. And if the card doesn't pop up, do type it in for me. Okay, so I've got food from Emma. Well done. Food is very important. That's part of your budget. We've got Alex saying water. So what I'll say, Alex, for water, there's a word for water. Emma says heat. Alex says gas. These are often called utilities. So your gas, your water, your lighting. So I'll call it your utilities. If you've not heard that word before, it's called utilities. And that's your water, your gas, your lighting. Anything else we have? We've got swimming. I put that down as, swimming, I'd call that leisure. So you use the sports, your gym memberships. I put that as leisure. Anything else in a house that you might have to pay for? We've got a few here. Anything else that's coming along? Internet, good. We have to pay for internet, and I'll put that here, internet. So internet. Anything else? More for more. What else? Come on, I'm creating you a budget. Remember? Savviest consumers. We want you to be savvy, so we need to understand. We've got utilities, We've got electricity, food, Wi-Fi. That would come part of that. How about, what else is there? Phones. You've got to pay your mobile bills. So I put that. Someone else said games. I put games under leisure. Let's see if there's any more items. Any more items? Oh, Emma says tax. That's true. So tax is an expenditure rather than an income. So things that you spend. So I'm talking about the income that comes into house. Phone bills. So I put phone. So phone and mobile. I'll put that as phone. Any other ideas? So we've got, what about this? What am I doing? Driving, car. People often have car bills. So like it could be petrol, it could be the car maintenance, it could be the car rent. Clothes as well. I put clothes as well. It's a good idea. Okay. So we've got quite a few items. Thank you. We've got petrol for the car. Thank you so much. We've got lots of items there. So these are all your incomes. Incomes and expenditures. I'm very sorry. Tax. Expenditure. Someone did say tax. I beg your pardon. Mr. Seagull is not thinking straight. Tax as well. Tax. Okay. So these are all your expenditures. And what people should do is, in a budget, you estimate. So you estimate how much they might be. So you might go and say, let's say rent. Again, these are just rough numbers. You might say £1,000 a month for rent. Yeah, £1,000 a month. Then food, you might say, let's say £50. Let's say £200. Again, these are probably on the low side. Then let's say bills. Utility, I might call it £100. Then leisure, I might say £100. Internet, we've got a good deal. We'll call it £50. You can see these numbers here. Phone bill, again, maybe I'll call that £50 for everyone in the house. Car, or the petrol, I might call that 100. Clothes, let's call it 100. And tax, let's say 300. So these are all your expenditures. So if you can see this is quite hard. Can you type for me? Can you work out for me? This is quite costly. So can you work out for me what your expenditure is? So it's £1,000 for rent. Yeah. £200 for food. £100 for utility. £100 for leisure. £50 for internet. £50 for phone. £100 for the car. £100 for clothes. And £300 for tax. So let me know what your expenditure is. Can anyone? I'm going to go and type it out. I'm going to go and work it out. This is quite expensive. It's quite expensive. But I'm just doing an example. So I'm going to work it out. 1,000. If you get it quicker before me, type it out. 1,200. Pets as well. We'll put the pets in food. Vicky says it's 2,000. Let's see if she's correct. 1,000, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 7. I think we've got the answer. A few people have got it. Dougal and Vicky are correct. It's £2,000. It's quite a lot. So this is £2,000 expenditure. And that is part of the budget. So you've estimated a budget. So for a budget to balance and for you to be savvy, you need to make sure that your income at least matches that. So it's £2,000 there. I'm going to show you a quote from a book. So who's read Charles Dickens? I don't have Charles Dickens on me now. Charles Dickens, wonderful author. Charles Dickens wrote Oliver Twist, but he also wrote a book called David Copperfield. Now let me show you the quote that's coming up now. Let me show you the quote. David Copperfield. Here we go. So before the quote, we've got a little picture here of sales. Of course, these are the things that we want to be, savviest consumers. Where's my wand? Savviest consumer. We need to be savvy about that. But this is the quote here. Have a look. So it says, annual income, £20. Annual expenditure, £19. Result, happiness. Annual income, £20. Annual expenditure, £20, 0 and 6. Result, misery. And do you know what that quote means? That quote means it's all about budgeting. Because in this book here, this character was saying, if your income is something, for example, your income is, let's say, £2,500. If your expenditure is less than that, you're okay. But if your expenditure is more than your income, it can be difficult. In the real world, people sometimes pay things on their credit card or borrow. But ideally, when you're budgeting, your income should be equal or greater than your expenditure. So that is yeah. So again, these are expensive. People are saying this is an expensive Mr. Seagull budget. Okay, so we are now going to move on to more challenging parts of maths and money. But for this, we're going to have to recap a bit of percentages. Recap. So recap time is recapping, going back in time. So we're going to recap. So just a quick bit of recap. So imagine that I'm going to be selling you my lion teddy bear, yeah? Imagine I'm going to be selling you my lion teddy bear. Oh no, I don't want to sell it. But, you know, sometimes, for tough times, you've got to sell things that you don't want to sell. So, this lion teddy bear was £40. Yeah, just recap. Oh, I got £10. That was £40. It's £40, but I'm giving you a 5% discount. A 5% discount. I'm being generous. A 5% discount. So how much do you think this is? So, £40, but they're giving you a 5% discount. How would you work it out? So this is to do with fractions, decimals, and percentages. We've covered some of this before. So, let's have a look at this, yeah? Let's do this concept again. So what you do is you work out firstly 10%. You work out 10%, and 10% is, you divide it by 10, so you get 4. You get £4 is 10%. And then, to work out 5%, we half it. So we half it to give us £2. So £2 is 5%. £2 is 5%. So essentially, if I had this teddy bear, I don't want to give it away. Don't make me sell it. If I gave you my teddy bear, 5% off, 10% is £4, 5% is £2. So that is 40 take away 2, it will be £38. £38. So we can do that mentally, as most of us have done. So I've seen Diola, Mita, Iram doing it mentally. But we can also use a calculator. And again, calculators can help us. So an example is, so on your if you get a calculator, what you can do is, you can type in 0.05, that's the 5%, 0.05, multiplied by 40, 0.05 multiplied by 40, and that gives you the 2 straight away. So you can use calculators to speed things up. But it's good if you've got a mental strategy. Okay, so now I'm going to get my dictionary out. Where's my dictionary? Here we are. I want to look at something because we're going to go on to the last major part of the lesson. And this is a new concept, boys and girls. A new concept. People want me to sell this. This is my favorite teddy bear. It's called Manny the lion, and I actually took this on University Challenge. You're going to have to offer me more. It's not, you don't get a discount on this. Come on. Okay, so I'm going to look up a word that we've not covered yet. So the word is interest. Interest. Okay, let's look what it says. Interest. Interest. Okay, so what it says is interest is what you pay for borrowing money, and what banks pay you when you save money with them. So I'll say that again. So interest is what you pay when you borrow money, and what banks pay you when you save money. So that's interest. So when people talk about bank interest, that's what they're referring to. So let's have a look at an example. Because examples always help us understand what's going on. So I'm going to be a friendly bank manager today. I'm going to be a friendly bank manager. Hold on. I'm going to be a friendly bank manager. Hello. I'm a friendly bank manager. That's why I got a hat today. Sometimes bank managers can be like, come to the bank. Whereas I'm a friendly one. You're a friendly bank manager. So, let's have a look. So imagine you come to my bank. You come to my bank. And you've been working hard. Your parents have been cleaning away. And your parents have said, I'm going to give you £100. I'm going to give you £100. Wow. So you got £100. £100. Yeah. And you invest it in my bank. You join my bank. And in our bank, we're going to give you 10% interest. 10% interest, yeah? 10% interest. After 1 year, how much money do we have in our bank? after 1 year. So you work out 10% of 100. We can do that now. It's £10. And we add it back to our original 100. And we get £110 after 1 year in my bank, in this bank here. The Bank of Hat, we'll call it. Okay. So the second one is, what happens if we keep the £10 again in the bank? And this is where it's a new concept. So there's something called simple interest. Simple interest. Simple is when you get the same amount of the original amount each year. So we have the £110, compare it to £110, and we add it back. And we add it back. We add the £10 back, and we have £120. So if it's a simple interest bank, every year, I'd be giving you £10. £10 free. I'll give you £10 every single year. So, I'm going to ask you a question as a poll. So imagine you have £100, but I'm not as generous today. I'm giving you 5%. 5% a year. 5%. You know, I want you to tell me, after 3 years, how much interest you have. Come on. I want to give you your money, but you've got to check. You're not getting the money if you don't tell me how much you're earning, okay? So it's 5% a year. It's not 10%, it's 5% a year. Tell me how much. Tell me how much it is. So I'm going to pop it up as a Facebook poll. Otherwise, you can type it in. So you get 5% a year. 5%. And I'm giving it to you for 3 years. How much money do you have at the end of the 3 years? At the end of the 3 years. Come on, let's have a go. So I want to move on to something a bit more complicated after this. So go, Rebecca's on an idea. So Deolis is £105. After 1 year, you'd have £105. Correct. But it's 3 years. It's 3 years. Emma's got it correct. So after 2 years, you get 110. And then after 3 years, it's 115. Because it's 5% of £100 is £5. And 3 times, you get £15. So there you go. Your £100 plus 15, you make 115. So it's your original amount plus £5 a year. And this is called simple interest. Simple. And I want to show you today, in the last 5 minutes before we move on, something a bit more complicated. So we've got simple interest, but I'm going to be generous. I'm going to give you compound interest. Compound. And let me show you a great quote by a man that you might recognize, a scientist you might recognize. Let's have a look. So I'm going to introduce you to something called compound interest. So Albert Einstein, one of the greatest physicists, scientists of all time, he said, compound interest is the 8th wonder of the world. He or she who understands it earns it. He or she who doesn't pays it. So compound interest, I'm going to show you an example of this. This compound interest is very powerful. And it's the last bit of today's lesson. And now we're moving on to some more advanced maths concepts. We're going to go back onto compound interest. So do you remember we had that question? Do you remember that question with £100? And we worked out after 1 year, you'd have £110 with 10% interest. After 2 years, you'd have 120. Now let's look at it if there's compound interest. So again, you remember the whole point of this is we're trying to make you savviest consumerists. We're trying to make you savvy consumers because maths and money are linked together. So Bo, are you ready for this? So it's £100 in the bank. It's still 10% a year, but this time it's compound. And I'll explain what compound is. So in the first year, I put year 1. In the first year, I'm trying to help you because again, I'm only going to give you the money if you understand what's going on. So in the first year, we know what it is. 10% of £100 is £10. You add it on, so £100 plus 10 is, you have £110. That's the same as the simple interest. But now, this is where it changes a bit. So do you remember in simple interest, we just keep adding the £10 back. The same amount. It will be 120 for simple. But for compound, this is where it's tricky. What we do is we work out 10% of this new amount. So the £110 in the bank, but how do you work out 10% of 110? How do you work out 10%? We know this. Anyone here? 10%. 10%. You divide 110 by 10, which is 11, isn't it? And you add it here. Did you get that? So to work out 10% of a number, when you divide it by 10, and you're sort of almost getting rid of the 0. You add 11, and now we get 1, 2, 1. And can you see, Cledwin, that with simple interest, we had 120 after 2 years, but compound, we had 121. Okay, so you're probably thinking, Mr. Seagull, why have you taught me this today? It's only a £1 difference. It's only a £1 difference. It's not a big difference. I can live with that £1. I'm going to show you why this is very powerful. So I'm going to give you an example. So imagine, this example here. So we're going to be more realistic because banks will give you interest, let's say every year. So imagine you've got £100 here, 2 banks. The bank of simple interest and then the bank of compound interest. Compound. So both of £100. And they both say, we're going to give you 10% a year. And you know how many years you're going to do it for? You're going to do this for 30 years. 30 years. A long time. That's a long time. So if you're 8, 9, 10, you're going to have to wait till you're 38, 39, 40, 41, 42. 30 years. But the bank's going to give you that money. We're going to compare the difference between the two. But you're 30 years. Are you going to wait 30 years to see what happens? We're going to travel into the future for this. We're going to travel into the future. So who remembers, take my hat off for a second, who remembers, the parents and adults and carers, Back to the Future. We're going to travel to the future. Hold on. Because we're going to travel 30 years. So I'm going to get my jacket on. Hold on. I'm getting my jacket on. We're going to travel to the future. I'm getting my glasses on. We're going to travel. Okay, everyone ready? We're going to travel 30 years in the future. I'm going to tell you what happens. 30 years. Are you ready? So we're going to get in the car, the DeLorean. Ask your parents, adults what DeLorean. We're getting in the car. 50 miles, 60, 70, 88 miles an hour. 1.21 gigawatts. Woo! We've traveled 30 years into the future. We're now in 2050. And I'm going to tell you what happened with the calculation. So we're here in 2050. This is an interesting world. Hello, I'm still with Explore 50 years later. I love this film. So, in this calculation, and I'm going to show you. So after 30 years, with simple interest, we know that we keep adding £10. £10, £10, £10. So there's 30 years. You do 30 times £10, which is what? 30 times 10 is 300, correct? And we add it back on. So 100 plus 300. So we're £400. That's okay. That's okay. My money's gone to £400. That sounds all right, doesn't it? And this is where, in 2050, we see a big difference. So this is 100 times 1.1 in your calculator, times 1.1, times 1.1, 30 times. 30 times. And do you know how much you have in your bank account at the end? So we have £1,744 and a little bit more, 95 pence. 1,744. Can you believe that? It's the same interest, but one is simple and one is compound. And that power multiplies. So it shows you when Einstein says that compound interest is the greatest invention, one of the greatest inventions, it shows you how powerful it is. So there you go. Hopefully today you've understood a sense of, again, the history of money, coins, cash, maybe credit cards, borrowing, your income and your expenditure, your budget. You need to make sure that your expenditure is less than your income, and if it's greater, you have to borrow money. And then now we've learned a bit about interest, and we learned also a bit about the power. Maybe you can't fully get to grips, but you understand that compound interest really multiplies. Okay, so I need to get back to, we've got 10 minutes left. I need to get back to the present day. Okay, put my glasses on. I'm going to get back in the car. Okay, you ready? Come on, strap in, put your seatbelt on. I'm going to go back to 2020, okay? Whoa, 50 miles, 60, 70, 80, 85, 88, 1.2 gigawatts. Woo! that was a tiring journey. So we're back in 2020, and you could see that back then, I had about £1,744 because of compound interest. Wow, what a powerful concept. Okay, so welcome. So today there was a lot of concepts, and again, if you felt like you need a recap, you can come back to our Facebook or Explore Learning YouTube and go through the video. So it's okay, you can always recap. Okay, so again, let's take a deep breath. I'm going to rub out the board. I'm going to rub out the board now. And remember, it's thoughts of Mr. Seagull time. So when you take a step, so take a calm. We've had an exciting lesson. We've travelled 30 years into the future. I'm going to bring up... okay, so take a deep breath for me. Deep breath in. And breath out. Deep breath in. And deep breath out. Okay, I'm feeling calm. I've just had a journey 30 years into the future. So here is the lesson today. So I'm going to show you the most motivational maths ever. I'm going to show you what this is. If I can find my chalk. I always seem to do this. I always misplace my chalk. I've got a tiny bit here. Look, tiny bit of chalk. Okay, so this here is, and this is going to be an example of compound interest applying to your daily lives. So 1.01, yeah, 1.01 to the 365, and then 0.99 to the 365. Okay, so what the top one is essentially getting better at something by 1% a day. Doesn't sound much, but just 1% a day. And the other one is where you get worse at something by 1% a day. 1% a day. And that 365, you can guess what that is. That is 365 days in a year. And do you know what happens? If you do 1.01, so 1%, and every day for a year, and we did this a bit on Wednesday as well, you get 37 times better at something by the end of the year. 37. And do you know what? If you get 1% worse a day for 365 days, you end up at 0.03. You end up close to being like losing the entire skill. So what the message here is, boys and girls, and carers, and Telia, the message today is that small changes do make an impact. Because sometimes we think, oh, I want to learn to ride a bicycle, I want to learn to sing, oh, I want to get better at maths, I want to get better at English, I need to spend 20 hours this weekend. It's not about that. It's about small, regular amounts that make you better. Small, regular amounts. And you see today, we actually looked at the maths of compound interest. Compounded 1% a day for 365 days gives you an amount that's 37 times larger. Whereas if you get 1% worse a day, you end up pretty much back at square zero. So the key thing is, compound interest can impact your money, but it can impact your personal lives. If you want to get better at anything, whether it's maths, singing, music, rapping about, just aim for a small amount, and then you will reap the rewards. There you go. That's thoughts of Mr. Seagull. So we've got a few minutes left, and I want to make a few announcements as usual. You know I like my announcements. So we had a couple of questions from parents that came in. The first question was, let's have a look. So it says here, how has love of maths made an impact in your life? So stay along. We've got a few videos. So we've got 5-6 minutes. So I want to show you a video that actually is, let's have a look. So this video here that you're about to see is from my TED Talk. So I talk about why I love maths and how actually maths can impact all our lives and in all sorts of places. So if you afterwards, at some stage, you look up YouTube, Bobby Seagull, TED Talk, I'm going to show you a little clip from that now. Let's have a look. I'm going to get this clip up for you. So I'm going to show you a little clip about, hold on. So I'm going to show you how maths made an impact on my life. Let's have a look. So the question is, how did I get into maths in the first place? What was my hook? So for young Bobby, it was football. Growing up in East London, lots of kids collected football stickers.
The ones that you carefully peel off and stick into books. Friends used to always speculate about which players were better. Often with no evidence, just who could shout the loudest. I remember one conversation. A friend said, Southampton's Letizia is a better striker than Arsenal's Ian Wright. These sticker books were treasure troves of information. For the football players, it contained names, ages, heights, goals scored, left foot, right foot, penalties, appearances, and so on. I took all the data for the two players, compared them, and I found that Ian Wright was probably a more effective striker. So I told my friend, Ian Wright is probably a more effective striker. And he said, oh, that's a good point, Bobby. Okay, it didn't make me more popular, but it did show me the power of numbers. Numbers don't lie, and they can help us look at things more objectively.
So, we've just listened to an idea about how I love maths and how I got into it. So actually, again, if you want to see the rest of the talk, Bobby Seagull TED Talk Maths there, you'll find it fully there. But again, maths has such an impactful experience in my life. Without maths, I wouldn't be the person I am today. Okay, the second question we had from a parent was, or a carer, we have your book, so thank you. One of the parents says they've got my book, The Life-Changing Magic of Numbers, but they're asking me, can I recommend any other inspiring books? And I actually have a couple of recommendations that we can maybe tweet out about later, or again, I'll post them on my facebook.com/bobbyseagull. So 3 books. So one is, if you're younger, it's called The Number Devil. The Number Devil. And this book is aimed at, I would say, children 5 to 10, maybe 5 to 10. And it's a wonderful book about a story about a child that's visited by a devil. But this devil loves numbers. So they learn about numbers together. That's for younger children, age about 5 to 10, one that the parents can read together. Okay? The second book, I'm giving a lot of recommendations today. The second book is this. An author called Simon Singh. And who loves The Simpsons? What's the Simpsons song? I can't remember the Simpsons song, but I love The Simpsons. And this book talks about how people in The Simpsons, the cartoonists, all did maths at university. They were mathematicians, scientists. So in The Simpsons, there's a lot of maths hidden underneath. So this is a brilliant book as well. That's probably aimed at secondary students, or students in primary are very confident. And the last one is by one of my, again, Simon Singh's a friend, but also this lady here called Hannah Fry. And she did the Christmas lectures on BBC this year. And her book is about how technology and algorithms are changing the world. Hello World. So these are your 3 books. If you want some recommendations about mine, Number Devil, and again, I'll post it on my Facebook. We've got The Simpsons and Their Mathematical Secrets and Hello World. There we go. There are your books. Okay, so last few messages before we wrap up. One is, I've got my TV series coming out very soon. Monkman and Seagull's Genius Adventures. And I'll show you a trailer just before the end. And also, obviously, with Explore Learning, it's Explore at Home. We'd love you to send your pictures, your tweets. So remember, it's at Explore Tutors or Explore Learning _official. Please tweet us your pictures, tag us in your stories, because we love to see how much you love maths. And again, my next class is on Monday on geometry for Key Stage 1. So we're back with more maths. So make sure you're back. You've got more maths to do, more maths to learn. And geometry is fun, about shape and space. And you're going to love next week's lessons. So before the maths wrap, I want to show you, so on Saturday, which is tomorrow, I've got a quiz, family quiz. There's some charades, there's some music, there's even a primary school round with pictures or maths questions. So if you come along again, if you follow my Facebook here, facebook.com/bobbyseagull, I will put more details of that. So before we wrap up, I want to quickly play you the trailer for my new TV series. It's on Monday. Can you believe that? Monday, 8 o'clock. Let's get it up. So let's have a go.
It's a strange question. Do you think if the human species was smaller, if you can imagine we're the size of rats but had the intelligence of humans, could we have created an industrial society being that small?
Like not everything else is scaling down, just humans, right?
Yeah, just humans. We scale. Everything else stays the same.
I don't know what crop you would...
Including predators.
Yeah.
A cat stays the same size.
You'd have a hard time developing agriculture at that scale. Could you imagine if people had to cut down every individual blade of wheat with a stalk of wheat with an axe?
Yeah.
So that is coming out on Monday. That's coming on Monday at 9 p.m. on BBC Two. Make sure you're there. And again, I'll post the recommendations. I'm going to put it down here. Facebook.com/bobbyseagull. I'm going to post those book recommendations that some parents had asked. So again, Number Devil, Simpsons and Mathematical Secrets, and Hello World. So if you like or follow that particular page, there'll be more information about that. So before we end up with our maths wrap, with Explore Learning, because Explore Learning, we're about fearless learners. A few goodbyes. Thank you to Bo. Thank you to Gabriel Alexander. Thank you to Sean and Shivan. Thank you to Claudio. Come on, give me your names. Hello, Lee. I'd love to do a few shout-outs before we end. A few shout-outs. Who else do we have? Yeah, I think that's it. So, we are Explore Learning and we love maths. We love maths so much because we think being good at maths can give you confidence to be good at everything else. Because if you can do maths, I think you can do other things as well. So again, please tweet us, Instagram us, and again, on the website, on the club part, exploring.co.uk, you can find out information on how to book a free trial and more information on worksheets related to the classes. So here we go. So again, make sure you do give me a like or a follow on Facebook and you'll find more information about all the maths and educational projects. So here we go. Julia, Dylan, I'm all excited. Beatrice, are we ready for this? This lesson's gone on a couple of minutes longer. That's because I'm so excited and I love maths. And actually today, I'm going to put on my hat. I'm going to be a stylish mathematician. There we go. Stylish. Okay, so here we go. So remember, people can't just say Millie. They can't. And Megan, happy birthday. Happy 10th birthday. So here we go. So there we go. So people say I can't do maths. There we go. 3, 2, 1, go. Yes, I can do maths. Yes, I can do maths. Yes, I can do maths. We'll do that 2 more times. 2 more times, people. 3, 2, 1, go. Yes, I can do maths. Yes, I can do maths. Yes, I can do maths. We'll do it the final time. So it's been amazing. You've been fantastic today. We've learned about money. We learned about simple interest. We learned about compound interest. Remember, savviest consumers. You're all savvy consumers because you understand how maths can help you understand and balance money. So thank you so much, everyone. Last time. Here we go. Shout out to Chris and Beatrice and Arlo. 3, 2, 1, go. Yes, I can do maths. Yes, I can do maths. Yes, I can do maths. Thank you. I'm Bobby Seagull. This is Explore Learning, and we love you to be a fearless mathematician. See you all very soon. Ta-ra.